In the life of a bee, the hive is more than just a home. It's a hub of productivity and exchange. Likewise, the players on this server are hard at work. In HomeSMP, the players take on the role of master terraformers, moulding the landscape to transform their visions and ambitions. Just as bees pollinate flowers, turning barren fields into lush gardens, the players here transform the land into vibrant, functional spaces that serve both their needs and those of the entire server. But in this hive, as in nature, balance is key. As the players expand and terraform, will they maintain the harmony needed to thrive, or will the pressures of growth challenge the stability of their carefully crafted world? Only time will tell if this hive can truly flourish. Hello there, my name's APuzzledSlime and welcome back to the third episode from the HomeSMP. I want to say a big thank you to all the love and support from the previous episode. I had absolute blast messing around with everybody on the server and building the bank, the temporary bank that we built over there, as well as the horse raffle. Slowest damn horse in the world. Can't wait to get the episode started. I've got lots and lots of stuff planned, so let's jump straight into it. So first of all, the first thing that I really want to do is to start clearing up the island a little bit. We've got some kind of random things knocking around. There's creeper holes. I've even got these wooden pillars that I initially put here to claim this island. So I want to go around, kind of wipe the island clear so we can actually start terraforming, because that's one of my favorite things to do. And I think it will really help to cement the size of the snail and the size of us in comparison. So I really want to get working with that. So I think let's start by clearing the island. Okay, so everything is now clear. That actually took quite a long time. I think it was like 45 minutes or something. But we got so many logs. Look at all of these logs that we've got. So we're not going to be short of wood for a little while. But let's hop up into FreeCam and actually just see the scale of the island. It's actually a lot bigger than I thought it was. Now that everything's gone, it definitely looks a lot bigger. So we have a lot of space to be able to play with, which is super exciting. So I've got lots of plans. However, Jeffrey kind of looks a little bit lonely here, so we're definitely going to have to get some builds in here a little bit later on. But first, I wanted to fill you in on what I've been up to. So between episodes, I've been actually building a bee farm because I want to get into the shop business so that I can start generating some home coins. So on stream, I decided to build a bee farm over here. I did all the redstone live on stream, so it is quite messy, but it's spooky, don't worry. Photographic memory. Okay. Okay. It's photographic memory if the lens cap was still left on. But I've got it completely set up. We have 32 beehives in here, all set up with the automatic redstone. And what happens is if I pop down here, all of the hoppers funnel into this chest, which then have two item sorters. So this one has honey bottles and then this one has honeycomb. And they all funnel through, and the honeycomb goes through into this chest, which then gets split off between these two hoppers. Over here, I have honey bottles. The rest of the honey bottles actually get put into an autocrafter, which then reads out here that once this is completely full, as you can see here, just comparator reads the signal out and sends it in. As long as it is full using this other crafter, it then spits out the honey blocks into here. This then also has another item filter for the bottles. The bottles then funnel down into this Minecraft hopper, where if we get a stack and a half, the hopper minecart will then actually travel all the way back up across this minecart rail and back over the hoppers and dispense into the dispensers. So these 5 over here have got shears in them and the rest have bottles. So then on the other side, we have the exact same setup, but just mirrored. So this is where the honeycomb comes through, comes into this chest, which is split off into this chest, which keeps honeycomb as is, or it goes off into a crafter with the exact same setup and gets spit out into honeycomb blocks. Underneath, I am able to control which output I want. So right now I have honeycomb turned off, so no honeycomb will be able to be going into here to get crafted, and the rest will be putting to here. Same on the other side, where here I have a stockpile of honey bottles, which I'm pretty sure nobody else will need this amount, so I think we're good here. So I switched this hopper off back here and I've locked it, and it will now go and continue crafting honey blocks. So my plan is that I do have a shop idea. However, I don't know if we'll be able to get round to it this episode. So what I want to do is actually head over to the shopping district and set up another kind of quick market stall, just as a temporary shop, so that people are actually able to come and buy some of my supplies. So I think let's head over there with a couple materials and let's start selling and getting some home coins then. Okay, so here we are now back at the shopping district. We've got my temporary bank over there. We actually have a shop set up by Happy Stun over here, which is looking really nice. So I think I'm going to set up maybe nearby. Like I said, I just kind of want a little area just to kind of put the honeycomb. So I might put a little stall over here. I think it might be a nice area. So I brought some supplies with me, not much. It's not going to be anything crazy. So what I'm going to do is, because I've kind of built a market stall last episode, I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of build this and bring you back when I'm done. Okay, so here we are. It's a very, very similar design to the one that I did for the bank. However, I did mix it up slightly. Obviously, we've got the honeycomb as the roof rather than the wool. And I've kind of added these like supports going across, which I think kind of adds a little bit of dimension, which I think looks really nice. One thing I do want to quickly add and see if I can do this is I'm wondering what it would look like if we run some fences along here, whether that would help add a little bit of dimension. Maybe if we open them. Yeah, I like that. That just adds like another little something to the build, so that looks quite nice. But now I want to make it a little bit more bee themed. So I kind of like the idea that maybe it's like a bit of a brewery, or, you know, something like that, where we kind of use the bees to create the honey. So I kind of want to brand it as a little pub, a tavern, perhaps is probably maybe the better word for this. So I want to create a couple kind of barrels standing on the outside. So I think if we do one maybe like here. So that adds kind of like a very cool little barrel design. I might add a little bit more here. Do I have my shovel? Okay, and we'll put the lever down, and then that kind of creates another little wine barrel, which I think looks quite cute. I'm going to add maybe some bigger barrels around here. I have enough trapdoors, which I definitely don't at the moment. And maybe stockpile a little bit of honey there. So let's create like a little bit of a path coming up, maybe into the barrels as well. Grab some coarser as well, so I'll probably have to head back home to finish that off. I do have quite a few little beehives as well, which I think will make for some really nice decoration. I think they look like little cardboard boxes almost, or more barrels. So let's kind of place a couple around, frame out our build a little bit more. Maybe we'll stick a couple back here. So I have 4 items that I want to sell. So I think I'll do maybe just kind of out the front like this. And then a couple more like that. Kind of want to vary it up slightly just so that they don't all look the same. So let's maybe turn this one on its side. I do have some bee heads as well, so let's definitely put a few of these around. Nice. Oh, look, it's looking so cute. I really love this. I really love this. So I think now we want to work on the actual contents of the shop. How much to charge? So I'm gonna put some item frames on each chest and place in the item. Okay, let's just put a anvil down here. So the honeycomb is 1 home coin for 32. Okay, the honeycomb is 1 home coin for 64. The honey bottles, 1 home coin for 3 times 16. And then this is 1 home coin per 32. Nice. There we go, prices have been set. There's a little bit of stock around. So yeah, we're officially in business, or in business. Okay, so here I actually just decided to kind of start playing the game a little bit without thinking about it too much. So I just kind of jumped straight into a bit of terraforming, kind of pushing and pulling the dirt of the land, covering up a lot of the kind of jagged areas and the jagged corners, smoothing everything out so that I could then work on top of it later. However, I ended up realizing that my shovel actually really sucked, so I needed to go and improve it. It only had efficiency and mending. So I went over to our community villagers, started trading some iron so I could build up some emeralds to buy an unbreaking book while also mending the shovel with the XP that I got. However, I ended up wasting all of my emeralds and just buying a bell, which was very, very annoying. After a little bit of time, I did actually save up enough emeralds to actually buy the unbreaking book. However, I realized that maybe our trading hall wasn't that secure and we had a little friend in our midst. I went back to my base and added it to my shovel and then kept terraforming. I decided that I wanted to build a place to house all of the honey and actually bring up all of the items up from the farm to the surface, so it'll be easier for me to go and stock the shop and be a place to AFK if I need. So I started to build this glass honey bottle, still keeping in our theme of kind of overly large items. So this is kind of just a standard Minecraft honey bottle that we can kind of walk inside of, which I thought was quite fun, quite unique and a little bit whimsical. Okay, so welcome back everybody. So in that we created the honey glass bottle, the honey bottle, I guess, which is pretty cute. You go inside and this is where I'm keeping all of my honey related things. So we've got honey blocks over here, honeycomb, honey blocks, and then honey bottles. And I will take you back downstairs to the bee farm because things have slightly changed. So I had to move a few things around to get the bubble columns to go up. If we head on down, everything up at the actual bee farm itself is still the same. So the honeycomb and the honey bottles get split off either side and split around the pipes. So on the right side, they come off this way. And what I've done is I've actually integrated 2-to-1 splitter. So this little clock back here actually splits everything off to 2/3 and 1/3. So 2/3 of the honeycomb just get put straight into a dropper and get sent up to the top, whereas 1/3 of everything that comes through will get put into this autocrafter, which we have the same setup as before, which then puts it into a dispenser and shoots it up into the storage. On this side, we have a similar setup. It splits off down here. And we have another splitter over this way where 1/3 of it goes off to honey bottles. However, I've actually just turned that off because nobody really uses honey bottles. So I kind of think I've got enough stockpiled for now anyway. Right now, all of the honey bottles that get used get put into the autocrafter and then put into this double chest. Bottles go down, honey blocks go into the dispenser, go up, and the same setup as before. They actually just went, but the hopper minecart will take them and distribute them out. The main problem that I'm actually having is that I don't have enough honey bottles. So So these all need to be full up. So sometimes the bottles will run low and then a spot will open up. As you can see, the honey bottles come back up into the dispenser. So for right now, I've just been manually kind of like filling them or swapping them out, but I just need to kind of get a lot of bottles, and then this should be just completely automated forever, which will be quite nice. So as you probably saw in the previous clip, my inventory is full of slime balls. And that is because the Elytra chicken challenge, or the chicken wing challenge as we've started to call it, is fully underway. We still have not gone to the end and fought the dragon. However, people have gone into the end, bridged across the void, got some Elytras through hoppers and shulker boxes, and have been pranking people by dispensing them into their inventories already. I believe there are now 6 or 7 people that are out. So from what I know, there is Happy Stunt, who was the first one out, Fireballs TV, Bloominty, Spookable, Spooky Crocodile, and Ace of the Clouds, I think. I think that's everybody that has got the wings so far, so we're taking extra precaution, filling our inventory with slime balls so they can't dispense it into our inventory. However, this is making things so difficult. It is incredibly hard to walk around the server or do any sort of organization or building with all of your slots full. It is not fun. I do not recommend this. Okay, so speaking of building, I actually do want to start on a bit of a path just so we can start kind of making this terrain look a little bit more custom. I do have some more ideas for foliage and plants. However, I'm still kind of working on gathering some resources for that. But for now, I thought maybe let's just work on a little bit of a path, maybe from our snail to our honey bottle and up to our entrance to the island. So for our path, I'm actually going to need a kind of big variety of blocks. So I have actually gone out and I've collected, here we go, a lot of gravel because we're going to need a lot of coarse dirt. Okay, so alongside the coarse dirt, we're also going to be needing regular dirt, oak logs, packed mud bricks, packed mud, and then finally, as a highlight, we're going to need some jungle wood. So this is actually quite a lot of blocks. However, the majority of the blocks will be dirt, coarse dirt, and oak, along with probably some moss in patches. My plan is to completely get rid of all of the grass eventually. So as our theme for the season is kind of Ariete, borrowers, small little people amongst kind of these larger objects. Hence why we've got a giant snail, a big honey bottle. From when I've been looking at kind of references and things like that, I really want to try and create the kind of that cracked earthy texture from when soil has kind of dried up. However, for making it easier and I don't have to jump over everything, I'm going to be using the block palette to kind of emulate some more shadow and things like that. So I kind of want to start with the jungle as the kind of like highlight block. And then we surround it with the packed mud, which is kind of the main kind of color that we use, or the main block that we'll be using for the ground texture. And then we want to come in around the edge with a few little packed mud bricks. And then we actually, and this is where we've got to be a little bit careful, is that we want to come in with some regular dirt around here and then coarse dirt. Let's maybe do coarse dirt to begin with to try and block off this kind of grass from growing. So we'll create a kind of ring around here. Okay, so we created a bit of a barrier and I don't believe the grass should be able to get through. So if I now go in and put the normal dirt, it just creates a less harsh line between the coarse dirt and the mud. So we'll just come in here and we'll fill all this in. There you go. So as you can kind of see, it kind of just creates a little bit of a nicer gradient. What I might do is just kind of come in, just blend it in a little bit so it's not so much of a harsh border between the coarse dirt and the normal dirt. Oh my god, inventory management. Okay, so there I have now blended the kind of dirt into the coarse dirt a little bit nicer. It kind of flows a little bit nicer on the eyes. And then finally what I want to do is just kind of right in the corner to kind of give a little bit more texture is that we're going to bring in the oak. And it just breaks up the samey texture of the coarse dirt, because coarse dirt can be quite harsh on the eyes. So it's really nice just to kind of break it up with little patches of this oak wood. Okay, and there we go. There we've got our kind of like first little section. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to dig out a large area and replace a lot of it with the coarse dirt boundary to begin with, because I've realized that that was the better method. Let's go ahead and jump into a time lapse of me building a few little more, maybe connecting the honey bottle back up to the snail. So welcome back. I may have actually done a little bit more than what I said I was going to do. I actually decided to cover the whole island with coarse dirt. This was because I was finding it so hard to keep the grass away from the dirt when blending. So I thought I'd just kind of take it upon myself. Oh, there's a little bit still there. Thought I'd take it upon myself just to kind of cover the whole island with coarse dirt. This was going to be the plan anyway. However, I didn't expect to kind of get around to doing it this early on. It did take quite a lot of resources. So, however, the main problem is that it's a little bit boring and a little bit repetitive. So now we need to go in and add a little bit of variation. And finally, I want to get some foliage in. I think it all just looks a little bit brown. I want it to be lush and beautiful. So let's have a little look, shall we? So behind the snail, I have actually got a couple chests that I have been collecting resources for. What I kind of want to do to begin with is actually come in with a little bit of moss and kind of turn some of this coarse dirt into some mossy patches. Okay, so then if we get our color palette out from here, I'm having to be super careful just because I don't want to for someone to come on over and elytra me because we're still playing the game. But there are quite a few blocks in this palette. However, by the end of it, it does look really, really good. Okay, so I just grabbed some dirt just for some scaffolding to make kind of going up a little bit easier. But I want to create some blades of grass. And I think I want to start over by Jeffrey around his head because he is munching on some greenery up there. So I think this will help him set into the landscape a little bit better. So I'm going to kind of start with maybe 3, slowly just kind of working up the gradient. But to make them more grass-like, we actually want to go in with some fence gates. So I've got a mixture of a palette, let's put them in color order. So when they get up towards the top over here, we're going to want to go for birch. And we kind of just want to sprinkle them around a little bit. Okay, there we go. There you can see kind of a little bit more of like a grass blade shape. Let's maybe go in and quickly make another one. This time maybe going up a little bit further. Okay, and there we go. There we got another one. So you see how they kind of just settle in a lot nicer when they're all together. That one's a little bit off. I need to fix that one. But once we get quite a few more of these and little sprouts, I think it'll look really cute. If we go in with around the bottom, we want to kind of make it look very like lush and green, like a lot of things are growing there. Got a few more things to kind of chuck in. I've got a nice lot of azalea leaves because they work really nicely with the moss just to kind of blend in the base. I want to get in some of these drip leaves as well to kind of look like sprouting little plants. We'll get a few of them around, and then we'll get some bamboo as well growing because that's also another kind of tall little shoot that will be kind of going up, which is quite nice. And then finally, I don't have it right now, but lots of blades of grass and stuff to be able to blend it in a lot more. But yeah, there it is. There is like a nice little spot. There's going to be a lot more of this, which will help set in the environment a little bit more. What I might do is hop into a little bit of time-lapsing and get a little bit more kind of set in and settled in with the environment. So yeah, I'll see you after. Okay, and there we have it. I've kind of made a start on all of the foliage. There's still so much more to go. However, this just kind of sets the tone, I think. So I've added a couple pockets of these tall kind of blades of grass with all the kind of like fluffy bits at the end of grass. I don't really know what to call them. But then I've kind of gone ahead and I've added a bunch of kind of lush mossy areas around it with lots of grass, some little pebble stones just to add some variation. We got some brown carpet, moss carpet. I've also come in and added a lot of bamboo and azalea leaves as well as some trip leaves. However, I'm going to have to go and grab some string in order to stop the bamboo from growing. I tell you what though, one thing that has been really hard is inventory management with all of this. It's been absolutely hell trying to organize everything with a inventory full of slime balls. I really don't recommend it. So it's probably been a lot more complicated than it should have. Like I said, it's just the beginning. This is just a start to kind of set the tone, let everything kind of like sit into the environment a little bit more. And I'm very excited to see how it kind of goes. My plan is to kind of add some more bigger actual plants and foliage, more than just kind of the grass blades. So let me know in the comments what plants I should actually add, because I don't know much about kind of plant species, and I think some really big leaves and things like that, maybe some flowers would be really cool. So let me know in the comments what flowers or plants, and then I will look it up and I'll try my best to come up with something in game. But yeah, that's where I think I'm going to end the episode. Thank you so much for watching this episode. It's been a lot of fun, lots of kind of building and things, which is what I love, a lot of terraforming. So make sure to hit that like and subscribe button because it really does help me out a lot. And of course, comment and share the video. Again, it just helps me out a bunch and I really do appreciate it. Make sure to follow me on all my other socials. I'm on Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and of course over here on YouTube. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode and I'll see you back here for the next one. Bye bye.